Alright guys, Evil has returned to Haddonfield for a sixth installment in this franchise, so I'll show you guys my copy. I have this set, the Halloween, the 4K collection for these three movies, for this trilogy, I guess. It's packaged like a trilogy, I suppose. So we have here, for Halloween 6, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Like the rest of the 4K copies, I mean, this is a beautiful copy of it. It's sort of that hard cardboard covering where the disc for the box is actually on the inside, as well as the other copies for this trilogy. So this is just a really neat set to have. The people I know who have watched Halloween most warned me from seeing any of them really past the second one, especially after the third, and after the fourth, now the fifth. I don't get the vibe that it gets any better. But for me personally, after watching recap videos of the fifth, watching the video I made talking about the fifth, and watching clips from it again, just trying to get back into the headspace of where I left off after the fifth movie before sitting down to watch this one, I was just reminded that I wasn't really missing much of anything at all. I mean, it was rough. It was rough, but this one I think was better. So, like I said, I don't know many people personally that have seen a lot of the Halloween movies, or at least like the franchise's entirety. But as far as the sixth compares to the rest of the franchise, as far as the ones I've seen, because I'm seeing them in theatrical order, so this ranking is just based off of the first six. This is, I would say, a lot better than the fifth one. It's hard to compare to the rest of them because I love 1 and 2 so much. And the third, although a lot of people consider it their least favorite, I just think its originality and it being so different kind of made it stand out in a weird way. So I did like the third. The fourth, it was touch and go. The fifth was just, I couldn't find much to enjoy to that one, but this one I did. So the first thing I did want to say about it is the opening. It didn't have that sort of iconic, classic, nostalgic, repetitious opening like some of the others. So this one just sort of dives right into the action part of the movie. This woman screaming, being dragged away. So sort of this ambiguous opening where you don't really know what's going on. There's a lot of people, you don't know who they are. You just see what's happening. So this woman is actually giving birth, and there's one of the doctors trying to help out. So there's this woman that has a baby and escapes. That's what we know. She escapes from this cult, basically. And we learned pretty early on in the movie that this is Michael Myers' relative niece from the fourth and I believe the fourth and the fifth movie, where she's older now. I don't recall what age she was supposed to be in the fifth one. I hear the opening suggests this movie was 6 years after the last one. So the character, I'm assuming, probably would have at least had to have been 10 years old at least, just based off how young the actress looked playing her now. Because the age isn't specified, I guess, unless they did say her age in the last one. I just don't remember. But regardless, she is old enough now. She has this baby. She looks like an adult, this young adult. She has a baby. She escapes, and there's sort of this chase scene between her and the baby and Michael Myers in the sort of beginning of this movie. And it's not dragged out. It's not long. It's not short. It feels like it's just long enough where we get to have that suspense again. We get to see the chase scene again. We see familiar characters. So it sort of thrusts you back into what the franchise felt like in the beginning without all of the original characters. So it was able to recapture what I felt watching the first two Halloween movies and the opening of this one. And shortly after its opening, Michael Myers does catch up to Jamie and does kill her. But the baby does escape. She's hid the baby. Michael Myers can't find the baby, so this baby is now alive. It's safe for now. And now we're learning Michael Myers now has someone new to hunt down. And it's a baby. So this baby obviously isn't going to be able to defend itself. So it's now solely reliant on other characters helping it out. And so another thing early on in the movie is we get to see the return of a character, Dr. Loomis. So one of the things that really bothered me about the fifth one is that they killed him off. And I get it, 5 movies in, it felt like it was long enough. You can kill a franchise character. I just liked him I just wanted him back. But in this movie, they don't really explain why or how he survived. In the last movie, I remember thinking, yep, this guy is done for. They don't show him survive. They don't give any hint that maybe he could survive. He was just done. And now in this one, he's just back. And that's just how it is. So it was a little strange. I wish we could have got at least like maybe 30 seconds at least of an explanation. At least have him reference maybe generally, vaguely what happened. But it just doesn't give us that information. So he's just back, which I'm fine. I can accept that. I like the character. Glad he is now back in this classic role as Dr. Loomis. And now that he's back in the franchise, he's obviously, I see him as sort of a guardian angel almost in this franchise, where he's the one constantly warning all the characters of the evil to come. And Michael Myers is coming home. He's returned. He's coming back. I mean, Dr. Loomis is the guy, when he shows up, it's like, oh, great. Now stuff's happening. So anyway, I just really like his character. And I'm glad he's back. I wish there was an explanation, but I'm glad he's back. But his character takes a weird turn, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So this movie is actually pretty short. It's an hour and a half, so I guess it's not really all that short. It just feels like it's a good enough runtime for a movie like this. But given being an hour and a half, where it's not this extremely short runtime, but it's not long either, it feels like there was no filler at all. I mean, there are scenes that don't have the action. There are scenes with side characters, but these characters are getting character development. I mean, they're building the sort of mystery behind what's happening and how Haddonfield has sort of moved on or not from the events that Michael Myers was a part of. And so, to me, it just didn't really feel like there were any filler scenes at all, which was really surprising to me. I mean, I was waiting for it. I thought, with these characters, I mean, enough side characters, there's got to be filler, but there just wasn't. So that was a very strong positive for me for this movie, for Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. The curse has been broken, guys. I mean, this is a good movie again. I think the curse is broken. So a lot of the middle is knowing Michael Myers is coming and trying to avoid where he's going to be. I mean, that's the middle. If you had to sum it up in the most generic way possible, that's the middle. And so we get Paul Rudd, his character in this movie, where he plays the kid that was being babysat in the original Halloween. So he's this weird, goofy character in a kind of charming way, I guess, but he's the one that finds the baby. So he's basically used as a plot device for Dr. Loomis seeing the baby, for the other character seeing the baby. I mean, he's the one, his character really is the one that's pulling all of our characters together for this main plot. And so I just thought he did a really good job. He looks exactly like he does now because he never ages, and that's just Paul Rudd, I guess. And so this movie actually was able to pick up the action part that some of the earlier ones had, that I was excited for. I mean, the chase scenes, the killing, it was enough to actually be interesting, which is something the fifth didn't have a lot of. So being able to be excited again during this movie was a great experience. So like I said, a lot of the middle is he's coming home, we gotta avoid him, but we learn a lot about the lore behind the Halloween franchise in this film, which is pretty interesting because it kind of deviates away from what the first one is. But I feel like it was almost what was needed, if I dare say needed. This long in the franchise, you can't just have the same guy have the same unexplainable resurrection over and over again without there being some kind of supernatural force involved somehow, no matter how you explain it. And so basically in this movie, they explain how there's this cult that chooses this child to where he then gets the whispers of kill your family. And now he's the next Michael Myers, basically. And so Michael Myers isn't exactly a fan of this cult. So he does turn on this cult in the film as well. And so that's sort of where our climactic final ending is. So one of our characters who is living in the original Michael Myers house, she and her son are sort of the focal characters being kind of targeted just because they're the ones sort of helping take care of the baby. And so her son Danny, he's actually the one that's hearing these whispers of kill your family. So we're almost getting the sense that he's kind of the one chosen by this cult to kill his family next. And so there's not really a lot of development with that story. He hears the whispers and it just doesn't really go anywhere because of what happens with the rest of the movie. He never gets to that breaking point where he's targeting or attacking anyone. But we do learn that this cult is doing something with transferring the soul of a baby or something. I mean, it's very ambiguous and is kind of vague with how it's explained. But when they get back to this mental hospital, which is where presumably Michael Myers was in the beginning, the cult is here, Michael Myers is there, all our main characters are here. This is the final act of the movie. And this is where Michael Myers is kind of trying to find the baby. He's finding our main characters, but he finds the cult. He's taking them out one by one, just killing them over and over. And so he's thinning out the numbers of our characters in this movie. And this is why I say this cult had Danny off to the side, but also had the baby. So it seems like they were both of interest to the cult. I don't really know. I mean, I feel like this is a way to explain that mystery, weird character in the last one that didn't really do anything except break Michael Myers out of his cell. I'm guessing he's supposed to be a part of this cult, and now the cult has their story of what they are in this movie. And they're pretty much wrapped up in this one. If the cult story is continued in the next one, I would be a little confused as to where they're going with it, because I'm pretty sure all characters involved in this cult have died now. And so in the ending for this movie, it kind of goes against what's happened in most of the previous ones, where our main characters do escape. There's a happy ending for them. However, Dr. Loomis goes back into the hospital to face Michael Myers. This is I think this one of the second to final shots of the film is him telling the main characters, hey, I still got unfinished business, I'm going back in. When he goes back in, we see the fade away where the camera's sort of panning down to the ground where we see Michael Myers' mask just laying there. And I guess because I was watching a movie with subtitles, it said Dr. Loomis screaming in the background where you hear like this thud noise, like someone's being killed. So without subtitles, you don't see, or without subtitles, I don't know if you would know it's Dr. Loomis supposed to be killed in the background. But I guess it's just weird that Myers just kills Dr. Loomis again, kind of just like in the fifth one. So Dr. Loomis being in this one, it was cool to see him again, but to just kill him again? Really? I mean, that's why we brought him back, just to kill him again? So, I don't know. If I had to pick a lowest point in this movie, that was it for me. Just because it just felt repetitive, just to bring the same guy back, to have the same role, to die again. I mean, it felt like it wasn't needed. I felt like the character could have had a happy ending, because I think I'm not the only one that likes Dr. Loomis. I mean, someone's got to have a happy ending in this franchise, and it's not him. So, irregardless, Michael Myers is left alive, not dead or killed or drowned or burned or whatever. I mean, this movie, he just straight up survives the end of the movie. So, going into the next one, there's not going to be somehow Michael Myers survived again. I mean, he's just still around. So, that goes against what the others have done, trying to have him die in the end and then they resurrect him the next time. He'll just already be resurrected this time, or the next this time. So yeah, I don't know. I enjoy a majority of this film. I just wish Dr. Loomis hadn't died, and I wish the cult would have had maybe a little bit more explanation. They were very vague. It was neat. It was a neat story just sort of thrown in there. I just wish we should have or could have got a little bit more explanation, but that's just me being nitpicky. I really did like this film. I don't know if it's one of the better ones because 1 and 2 are so good, and I like 3 personally. So yeah, we'll see where this one stands the further along in this franchise. I mean, I've got the next 2 movies in this set. So we have H2O and we have Halloween and Resurrection. So after these 2, I'll be watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2, and then I'll be watching the newer trilogy after that. So yeah, I think it'll be fun to rank them all at the end of this, but I'm determined to try to get through these movies before Halloween, or at least to the point where I can watch Halloween Ends on Halloween. So we'll see if that happens, guys. Thanks for watching my review of Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. I don't know, guys. I mean, these are all right together. When you watch so many movies all in a row, you start to forget the secondary title. So anyway, I like this one. Check it out, guys. If you have any thoughts about this one, let me know. I just don't hear people talking about this one. And I'd love to know what the general consensus is. Is this one of the better ones? Is this considered not? I'm curious. So thanks for watching my review, guys. Keep it digging.